Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Today we are talking about VSLs and the secret behind VSLs that absolutely cook. The ones that crush and the ones that flop. And the way that I have constructed this lesson for you, based on $40 million in results from my clients producing VSLs that have taken cost per book calls down from 300 to 150 and help people go from a 2x ROAS to like a 6x ROAS. I can sit here and talk about the case studies all day. You can go watch other videos for that. But today we're talking about the actual concepts behind how I think about VSLs and what I've seen between the ones that really did well and the ones that didn't do well. And so I've constructed, again, a nice little metaphor for us. So why don't you go ahead and bring this camera on over here. We're going to talk about VSLs. So this right here is the idea of your offer. And what happens is you have a good idea and you think, hey, you know what I should do? I should probably go ahead and get some, just momentum for this idea and get some people interested in this idea. And so, you start marketing it, and the fire represents your marketing. And so you're starting to get some good results here, and you're like, okay, hey, it's catching up. We're actually starting to see it cook up. People are buying, people are starting to see it, and inevitably you start to catch more momentum. And so you can see that you're starting a bigger fire. And this is usually how most offers go. You start off with organic, maybe just testing it to your email list, trying to see what works, and it starts to work. And then inevitably what happens is you start larger and larger audiences and you start running ads to it. And the fire starts working, it starts growing and growing and growing, and this momentum starts to pick up. But here's the thing, let's not let that happen. You have to keep adding fuel to the fire. And so this is the effort from your marketing funnel. This is you testing ads, trying VSLs, new leads, different offers, trying to figure out what's the VSL that's gonna make the most sense. And so you can see now, the fire's really going. What was first just this is now ripping inside of this nice little fireplace that we have right here. And if I want this fire to keep cooking, I have to keep adding fuel. Because why don't you come show it real quick? What you can see is the main logs, just call it hitting critical mass in the market, they have not caught on fire yet. And so what I have to do is really make a concerted effort to keep the fire alive. This is, upon launching a VSL offer, making a deliberate effort to test, to actually put effort into the funnel. And that may be more time being spent on the sales process, more time being spent on the messaging. And look what happens when the critical mass doesn't hit on it. You can see the fire isn't necessarily starting all the way, but it's starting to a little bit. We're starting to catch that up there. And so the offer's going up. This could be an example of like, we hit a high 100K, 200K month, but then inevitably it comes back down. And now it's operating at like 50 or 60 because we had a launch model and the launch did really well, but now we're trying to make it more consistent. So you can see this VSL is still trying to stay alive. The fire is still trying to stay alive. And so what we need to do is keep adding things to make this thing work. So we
come on over to YouTube land and we get some more organic YouTube videos that work. And we hire some sales consultants to try and make our stuff more efficient. And so we pour more resources into our fire to make it burn brighter. And so we keep finding resources. Hey, Hormozy shared this thing, and now I know to do this thing with my application. And so we keep adding it in, and the wind's getting very intense. And these resources are starting to cook. And so now we're starting to see some real progress, and momentum is starting to pick up.
And inevitably what I've seen of the biggest offers, the biggest VSLs that have produced the most, like I have one client who's done $17 million with one VSL. The main thing that he did is he kept putting fuel in the fire.
Notice I didn't run over here. I'm gonna go start a fire over here now. Maybe I can get this one big. If I do this one, I could try that one right there. No, I didn't do that. I'm keeping one fire alive right here.
Because scaling one VSL is hard enough. Like starting one fire is hard enough. And I need to put all of my resources, my effort, my time into that VSL. Most people, they're more focused on keeping up with what all the marketers are saying to do. And I've definitely fallen into this. But if we want to keep a fire going, we have to make a concerted effort to keep pouring in this fire. And so you'll see that at some points the fire is very bright, at some point the fire is catching up. But we can see what inevitably is happening is because we are sticking with this fire and allowing it to grow, we are starting to hit critical mass on it. The logs are actually starting to catch, and they're actually starting to grow, and we're starting to see the fire grow. And so now I start pouring ad spend into it. I'm spending, instead of 5K testing budget, I'm starting to spend 10K, 20K, 300K, 500K, whatever your capital is that you have access to. We can start loading in these logs that are more and more resources into our VSL. And I hope you guys can see the metaphor that I'm trying to explain to you here. Everyone wants to have the VSL at a point where the fire looks like this, where it's just chucking. The thing is burning. It's doing really well. We are proud of our fire. We're like, fuck yeah, this thing's working really well. But nobody wants to put the resources and the time and the energy and the effort into the VSL to make it work. And so what I have found is that the more you pour into it, and that's not just you like spending time, okay, hey, let me split test intros, or let me try and figure out what I need to do. It could be you hiring consultants to come in and fix specific parts of it, like the sales process or your ad process or the VSL itself. It could be looking at the actual sales process that follows after that. Hey, what are the texts that these guys are getting? What's the application they're going through? How are the sales reps showing up on the calls? There's so many things that you can do to a VSL funnel and test to make it better. But that's how you actually get the fire pumping. Pour time, energy, and effort into it. And so what I was trying to communicate to you guys today, and I hope this metaphor helped you see it, is that everything starts small. And once it's actually going, because we'll be here for another 20, 30, 40 minutes, and this fire will still be going, that fire is gonna start to die down. And unless I take that wood right there and more resources from around here and keep pouring it into that fire will die out. In other words, if you stop putting time, energy, effort, resources into the VSL, it will die out. It's like a child, it's like a plant. You have to water the plant, you have to feed the child, you have to take care of the dog, you have to put wood into the fire. So a lot of people with the VSLs, they try and make it in a set it and forget it manner. They don't want to touch it. And this is why people pay me stupid sums of money to come in and fix their shit, because they haven't touched it in months and years. And they're like, can I just hire you, Nick, to come in and fix everything for me and make it more efficient so I can make more money and be more handsome and have more cats that like me and walk up to me on the street, and I can buy more cool cars and I now have 6-pack abs. Yes, you can pay me for that. That's exactly what we're gonna do. And so hope you guys found this useful. Quick little metaphor for you. Next time that you're working on a VSL, just remember, we're adding more wood. The more wood you fire into it or throw into the fire, the longer the actual fire is gonna burn for. And no one gets to escape this truth. The harder people work on their funnel, the more the funnel performs. That's it.